beats and stuff on the low. So, for anybody out there, I'm serious. Yo, I know a girl named Megan love to give head, and she from Connecticut. I call her Nutmeg. And she do the shit for free. She don't want bread. Then she climb on the top like a bunk bed. Nah, I'm just playing around. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to talk to y'all today about moving from Hartford to Simsbury. First of all, matter of fact, back with another edition of How Connecticut Do. This your boy Flo once again. What I want to talk to you about how it was growing up, coming from the north end of Hartford and moving to Simsbury, Connecticut. You know what I'm saying? If any of y'all know anything about Hartford, y'all know Hartford a rough city. It ain't nothing sweet about Hartford. And if anybody knows Simsbury, y'all know Simsbury a small, uppity, ritzy, quaint little town. And y'all probably thinking, Dad, man, you moved from there to there, y'all must be rich. We far from rich. We moved from the hood, basically, to the hood of Simsbury, low income. So, with that being said, when I was coming up, like in my family, we lived on Martin Street. Most of my family was from the project. All of them mainly lived in a project. So, we all had that project mentality. And if you know Hartford at that time, back in when I moved to Simsbury, I want to say it was the early 90s. I want to say it probably was, or late maybe, I want to say 90 or 89, somewhere around that. If you knew Hartford at that time, Hartford was crazy. You know what I mean? All the projects was up. You had W Square, Bowles Park, Nelton Court. You know what I'm saying? Even the projects on the south end, Dutch Point, Charter Road, Rice Height. All of them was up. Bowles Park, Westbrook. So it was a lot of gang stuff going on. Like, you couldn't wear colors, you would get smoked back in those days. So you had to really, be on your P's and your Q's then. And Hartford, a little small little, rough little town. So you had to be about it, man. Or you know what I'm saying? That's the way we grew up. Our family was taught, man, like, you get hit, you hit back, man. They come at you, you go at them. Like, that's just how we was taught. So when I moved to Simsbury now, to this quaint little town, I still had that mentality. I remember when I first moved to Simsbury, I was like, whoa, like, you know what I'm saying? Because, back in those days, Hartford was segregated. Like, you had your blacks mainly on the north end, and you had your Puerto Ricans on the south end. And it really was no in between. Like, I don't know where any white people was really living in Hartford at the time, or at least I ain't know this. As far as I'm concerned, all the white people lived out of Hartford at the time. So when I moved to Simsbury, it was a culture shock. I was like, whoa, Dad, it's a lot of white people. So, it was a little, and then, it was a little hesitant of going outside at the time. And when we first moved to Simsbury, we moved into Udall property. It was like a small little complex. So it wasn't really that many kids out there, but, I actually ended up meeting, like, the first people I met was a Trinidadian family. So, I'm like, okay, cool, we got some black people. When I first met them, I thought they was Jamaican. So that was the first time I ever really met Trinidadian people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was so used to Jamaicans, coming from Hartford. So, you know what I mean? Then it was another black family who moved in, so... I started getting a little comfortable in Simsbury. Then we moved to Eno Farms. And Eno Farms was like, okay, now it was a bunch of people from Hartford moving in to this complex. And then, you had people from New Britain. And then you had little poor people from Simsbury moving in too. So, you know what I mean? So it was kind of, at first was wild. Like, you had people from all these different backgrounds. People was fighting. There was fights every day. It was kind of wild. And then me coming from Hartford, I'm bringing that mentality, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's just what it was. Like, you know what I mean? We starting to start gangs in Simsbury. We starting little cliques. I remember we started a clique called Dog Pound. Then we went to Crips. We actually made up our own Crip set. Then we expanded to Canton. And, I mean, if anybody from Canton back in them days know, man, salute. Because we was actually strong, man. we probably was like 100 strong, and we was fake Crips, but whatever, we did it. You know what I'm saying? But that was pretty much life in Simsbury. You know what I'm saying? And my little area in Simsbury was it was like the black area for Simsbury. So, all the poor people lived in our area. Then you had T-ville, and T-ville was like a poorer area, but it was like poor slash middle class. You had, your people who lived in the Heights was more like middle class, and your people who lived in Lower T-ville, I say that was more hood, but they was like middle class too. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, most people who didn't live in them areas, they was those was the ritzy Simsbury cats. But, to be honest, growing up in Simsbury, I wouldn't really say it was racist or nothing, you know what I'm saying? Even though, like, we was black and there was a lot of white people, because I met a lot of cool white people. I'm sure it probably was racism around, you know what I mean? But I didn't really feel it heavy. Like, it wasn't like, you see, like, some movies down south where, you'll see, like, a gang of white people like, yo, let's go over there across the tracks and go get the black people. Like, it wasn't like that. Like, us and Eno didn't feel, even though we did click up like that because, just us being a minority in that area, we just felt we had to click up, but it wasn't on no click up like, yo, yeah, let's get together and go, we gotta fight the white people. Like, it wasn't like that in Simsbury at all. Like, I never felt that type of heat in Simsbury. The only racism I really, like, what I say was blatant in Simsbury to me was the police. You know what I'm saying? To me, the police used to prey on us. Like, they was like, yo, y'all from Eno. They used to tell our white friends, like, don't be with them, they troublemakers. And we doing the same shit they doing. Like, it ain't like we was extra bad. Like, I ain't gonna lie, when I got a little older, I started getting more wilder because, I started hanging back out in Hartford a lot. I'm getting with my friends. I started wilding. I did it all, sold drugs, carried guns, all that type of stuff. So, when I started getting older, I could kind of understand I was getting a little wilder, but in Simsbury is a different type of life. Like, you ain't like Hartford, like, out in the streets with it, like, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, Hartford, everybody on the corner, dudes like, yo, we out here type. In Simsbury, you in somebody's house, you in their backyard, like, you ain't, you in the woods, starting a fire with your clique, and you know what I mean? And y'all drinking, and you in the park, like, it ain't, so, you could blend a little easy, you know what I mean? But still, like, we was targeted, I felt like. Dudes knew, like, you was from Eno, like, they bad. Like, we just had that reputation where I thought was wrong because, at the end of the day, we wasn't that bad. Like, you know what I'm saying? But, we did get in some trouble. But, to me, it wasn't no different than a lot of what was going on around us. You know what I'm saying? It just, some of us, like me, had that mentality. Like, I was a Hartford dude, too. So, I took that mentality to Simsbury. So, I was on some, like, whatever I do in Hartford, I do out here, too. Like, I never, picked and choose, like, oh, I'm going to go out here and do this, but I ain't going to do that out here. Like, I just never was that. When I was wilding, I was wilding. So, like, whatever I do in Hartford, I do in Simsbury. Even though I had to learn as I got a little bit older and older, like, duh, you really can't be doing that shit in Simsbury, man. Like, it's just two different places. Like, the tolerance level is, Hartford is tolerant, Simsbury is zero tolerance. That's just the way it is. But overall, like, I love Simsbury. Simsbury a good town, man. Good town to raise your kids. It's good people there, man. And Martin Luther King was there, so there's some history there. So, you know what I mean? Overall, Simsbury is a good town. I wouldn't say it's racist. I say the cops is, if you black, they might, and you from Eno, they might be on you a little something. But, once they know you from there and out there, they assholes. I don't know. I don't like them. But, but for the most part, I respect Simsbury. I love Hartford too. Those gonna always be my homes. I'm gonna always consider myself a Hartford dude. I don't care where I'm at in this earth. I don't care where I'm at in Hartford County. I'm Hartford bred, and that's just how it is, man. Like, in the burbs, I'm that same dude. Like, I do what I do in the city. I do what I do in the burbs. I don't discriminate. But all in all, you know, I just be chilling. You know, I'm just enjoying this Connecticut life, man. This Connecticut living. So my next video, I'm gonna be trying to come at y'all with relations between black people and white people, and how I think that, you know what I'm saying, we all need to get together, man, instead of, you know, going at each other, man. I really think there's a bigger agenda out there, man, and divided we are, they will conquer. So till the next time, hold it down, triple salute. Your boy Flo. How Hartford do? How Connecticut do?
It's about the kind of materials you're using, the hardware.
This how Connecticut do. Like, comment, subscribe for more. And we out. Triple salute.